Hi everyone, welcome to the first Beijing International Poetry Festival. I'm Shuhui, and I'm glad to introduce to you our Chinese poet, Mr. Guangxin Zhao. Mr. Zhao grew up in a town about 50 miles from Suzhou, one of the most beautiful cities in China, a city that historically has always been an inspiration for poets and artists. But he didn't seem to be so inspired by the charm of his hometown to engage in any literary creation when he was a teenager. Maybe because the Cultural Revolution had done such a thorough job sweeping away the area's cultural tradition. In 1978, when the Cultural Revolution was over, Mr. Zhao was enrolled as an English major in Jiangsu Teachers College in Suzhou. Because of his outstanding performance in his college years, he was offered to work as an instructor in the same department of the same college right after graduation in 1982. Then something important happened. According to Mr. Zhao himself, by a now seemingly happy mistake, he started to write poems after a painful and hopeless romantic pursuit of a female colleague. He was drugged by love sickness, said Mr. Zhao, and he was in desperate need of an outlet for the pent-up frustration, agony, and fervent hope for getting over it. Fortunately, poetry turned out to be the right vehicle for his volcanic emotional outbursts at that time. In 1985, after taking a succession of tough exams, he was enrolled as a student in the United Nations Translation and Interpretation Program at the Beijing Foreign Studies University in Beijing. After graduation, 2 years later, he became an instructor for the same program. It was during this period of time that he began to study traditional Chinese poetry in real earnest and developed a sincere and serious interest in it. In 1997, he was sent to work as a translator at the United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific in Bangkok, Thailand. One of his good friends asked him to contribute to an online literary monthly called Wenhui, initiated by a veteran Chinese simultaneous interpreter in Geneva. That is a crucial historical turning point for Mr. Zhao. He has kept on writing poems of various styles since, in Chinese as well as in English. In 2006, Mr. Zhao moved to New York and has been a simultaneous interpreter at the United Nations headquarters in New York City. Poetry has become a perennial undertaking for him. Thank you very much for joining me in welcoming Mr. Zhao.